my channel. I am a full-time master's student in history. I work full-time in social media marketing. I manage a small business in children's entertainment, and I also freelance on the side. So at Death Before Decaf, we talk about how to be a busy bee and how to be organized and how to be productive and how to maximize your time to make all your dreams come true and still enjoy life to the fullest. So after 2 years of using a very specific system that really helps me achieve all my goals, break them down, and make them happen, I think I know a thing or two about organization and being productive. So in this video, I wanted to share a little bit of my experience and a little bit of my knowledge in helping you perhaps be more productive or better organized and help you move forward towards your goal. And for that, I have come up with 7 life-changing tips that helped me achieve all my goals, and I encourage you to try them out and see if they work for you, and then maybe you can make all your dreams come true as well. If you clicked on this video, you might have been recently influenced into the world of what some might call girl bossing. You might be seeing all of these like TikToks or Instagram reels that are showing life like, you go girl, you can do this, like focus, lock in, and then you see all these like stunning, fit, gorgeous women who have like multi-million-dollar businesses, who are well educated, who have a beautiful sense of style, who go out, who have a big circle of friends, who are in healthy relationships. And maybe that sort of awakened a little fire in you that made you want to become a little bit more like this. And although I get that, and I still consume that content, even now where I'm satisfied with the way that I organize my life and my goals, I get that the attraction to that kind of content, and I get that it can be motivating, but it lacks, you don't see all the hard work that actually goes behind that, and you don't see all the organization that goes beyond that. So it's really hard to, or rather, it's really easy to look at these videos and be like, oh my god, okay, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow at 5 a.m. and I'm gonna have a Pilates workout, and then I'm gonna journal, and then but these things usually you can make it happen for one day, but as soon as something changes and something derails, then you are lost and the routine falls apart and you feel like garbage and you go back into the rot, and then you're rotting, you're on Instagram reels, you see another reel like this, and the cycle begins again. So we're here, we're together, and we're gonna break that cycle. We're gonna actually set good rules and goals, and we're actually gonna make that lifestyle happen for you little by little through small, actionable things day by day. So a first tip to move forward towards that lifestyle is going to be to look at ourselves in the face and be really brutally honest about what is not working. And what I mean by that is not just like, oh, I'm lazy, oh, I spend too much time on my phone. I mean actually sitting down, and this is going to be a really tough exercise, but evaluating everything that we do in a day and circling, like maybe you make an entire list of what you did the day before, and you circle what you want to keep in your routine and what you find productive and that makes you feel good in green. Circle that in green. Things that are neutral, that can stay, that are not harming you or making you better in either way, we can circle those in yellow. And you know what I'm going to say about the color red. If there are things in your day that you are like, this is not in my dream girl routine, we're going to line them in red and we're going to stop doing them, right? So for me, that might be rotting on TikTok. It might be, being lazy with cooking and preparing food in advance, so ordering takeout, don't want to do that. It might be, feeling exhausted at 4 p.m. because I didn't get a workout in, and because I've been sitting like this for the past 6 hours. Either way, we're gonna be brutally honest with the things in our day that don't bring us joy and that don't fit into that dream lifestyle, and we're gonna slowly extract them from our routine and replace them with things that actually make sense. So that's gonna be the first thing to do. We're gonna sit down, we're gonna look at what a typical day looks like for us, and we're gonna line in green, yellow, and red day by day what the activities look like in terms of whether we want to keep them or we want to let them go and replace them with better things. And it's important to be very brutally honest here. You know, sometimes we think we've only been scrolling for 15 minutes, but it's actually been 45. And sometimes we think we only order takeout once a week, but it's, you know, 2 weeks ago it was 4 times and last week was 2 times. So be brutally honest with yourself and really note down the things that you do that don't fit into that perfect lifestyle and into that dream routine that is going to benefit you and push you forward towards your goals. This next tip is a bit of a repeat. I talked about it in one of my previous videos, but you need to be very clear with your goals and pick like only a few a year. For example, when I started setting up the system that I'm about to talk about 2 years ago, I only had 5 goals. And by achieving all of them at the end of the year, I felt more confident to add more goals and to be then more ambitious year after year. And now I'm at 11 goals that I want to achieve in 2025. And by goals, I mean like really big overarching goals, like paying down significant amounts of debt, putting significant amounts of money aside for a house down payment, completing my master's thesis, traveling, whatever it may be. We're talking here about very large overarching projects that take months and months to plan and to make happen, right? So if you're just starting this, start with a few big goals that you want to accomplish, and depending on what time it is during the year when you're watching this, you've got to be reasonable with that as well. If it's December, don't slap 10 yearly goals on your to-do list because that's just unreasonable. I like to have at least 2 goals per quarter during the year, which leads us to 8 goals. And I, sometimes feel comfortable adding more to that because they are slightly smaller goals or goals that just are going to come regardless, like finishing my thesis. It's going to happen regardless I put effort into it or not. But the point is, set very clear overarching goals and then divide those goals into quarterly goals, and then divide those quarterly goals into small actionable items every single day. And in order to pick those small actionable items every single day, we set 3 key goals every morning. 3 things that we absolutely need to do during the day, and they don't even need to be overwhelming. They don't need to be big. It can just be do your laundry. It can just be grocery shop. Make a list, make meal plan list, and then grocery shop for it. Whatever it may be, it's things that we know are necessary to keep us on the right track and are necessary to reach our overarching goals. For me, that is having a workout every single day, even if it's just 10 minutes, it does not matter. For me, that looks like a research blitz every single day. So 1 hour of just going through the available digital archives and finding information, just working a little bit, pushing a little bit closer to my goal. And a third goal might be, I have a lot of like very specific tasks for my marketing job. So it might just be to, clear schedules for 3 of my merchants, for example. That might not mean anything to you, but it's an actionable goal that just makes sure that everything goes well in my job and my bosses are proud of me and I keep my salary and perhaps get promotions. Doesn't matter. But our big yearly goals that are divided into quarterly goals that are then divided into daily actionable items, of which we have 3 key goals every morning that we have to accomplish that day, and the rest is blah blah blah, right? The next life-changing tip that's really going to help us move forward with our productivity is finding a morning routine that works well for us and sticking to it. And what I mean by works well for us is that I don't think that waking up at 4 in the morning, doing an hour of cardio, journaling for 15 minutes, and then starting a day is the right thing for everyone. It is certainly not the right thing for me, but trial and error and finding things that make your morning more enjoyable, that get you started on a better foot, and then sticking to that routine as much as humanly possible is really where it's at. So what that looks like for me, for example, is that I'll wake up around 7, I'll get a coffee going, I'll sit down on my couch nice and cozy, and I'll do about half an hour of reading something related to my research just to get my brain in the zone. And even though I'm not even awake yet and I'm like rereading the same line 3 times, that doesn't matter. What I'm doing is I'm waking up my brain and getting myself into that research mode, into my historian pants. And I've already felt like it's 7:30 a.m. and I've already, you know, awakened my brain and, you know, opened myself up to receive new information and to be inspired by reading that I'm doing. So coffee, read research materials for 30 minutes. Then I will spend some time with my husband because that's about the time that he is sort of ready to have his coffee as well. So we'll spend 15, 20, 30 minutes chatting. And then as soon as he leaves for work, I'll get into some workout clothes and I'll get a 30-minute workout in. And then I get ready for the day. So I usually, like, my day doesn't really start until like 9:30. But that routine is only for days when I work from home or when I have class, so it's later in the day. If it's an office day, forget it. I am in traffic at 7:05 and I haven't drank my coffee yet. So sometimes, you know, I say pick a routine and stick to it as much as possible, but life sometimes has other ideas. And I think a big part of this process is giving yourself grace, because if you're discouraged, you'll give up, and we don't want that, right? So finding a routine that works for most days and sticking to it for most days is what we're looking for. And just something that once that routine is done, once the day actually begins, and once you sit in front of your computer or whatever it may be, you're like, I have already accomplished so much. And now my mind is not thinking about, I'm gonna have to work out later, I'm gonna have to do this later, I'm gonna have to do this. We can focus on what's actually important during that day and what we actually need to accomplish, like professionally or academically or whatever it may be. This next one is tough for me, so I know it's going to be tough for probably a lot of you, and that's fine. And it's incorporating workouts into your routine as a priority, and incorporating social time in your routine as a priority. So what I mean by that is your dedicated workout time should be your priority during the day, because it's going to oxygenate your brain, it's going to give you more energy, it's going to make you feel more confident, and it's just going to set the tone for everything else that happens during your day. It doesn't matter when you do your workout. I'm a morning workout aficionado, but as long as it is something that you prioritize into your self-care, your older you will thank you. You will be able to accomplish more for longer. You're going to be healthier for longer. You're going to be able to hold your kids, your nephews, your grandkids one day and be able to tell them all about your accomplishments, because your brain is active, your body is active. Everything will thank you in the long run, even though it's a pain in the ass and it really sucks during that 10, 20, 30, 60-minute session that you're doing. But for the love of God, do it, and do it in any way that feels good to you, whether that's cozy cardio, whether that's going for a run if you're a masochist, whether it's Pilates videos on YouTube, whether it's going for a brisk walk with a nice audiobook, whatever brings you joy and makes it survivable, do it. And that goes along with the next tip, obviously. It is another tip that's easier said than done. And listen, I'm about to tell you that I have incorporated meal planning and prepping for only the second week now. Yes, it is something I just incorporated in January of 2025. A bit embarrassing that it took me so long to actually stick through with it and realize how helpful it is. I struggle with eating. I tend to be an emotional eater, a bored eater, however you want to describe it. But we forget so fast that nutrition directly affects focus, energy, and productivity. And eating mindfully and eating the right things will ensure that you're nourishing your body and staying energized. And we need energy to be productive. That's like baseline. So plan your meals with efficiency in mind, and actually plan your meals. Actually prep your meals, make batches of stuff, cook snacks in advance, things that are easy to grab on the go, things that have protein and healthy fats and whole grains and vitamins, and actually follow through with this. And I know that it's very difficult, and for me, I had to put a boundary for myself that I do not work on Sundays. I don't care what happens, I will not be leaving my house unless it's for fun things. But I am at home on Sundays, and I'm focusing on ways that I can make the week ahead easier for me, and that will begin by meal planning, meal prepping. And like, you gotta make it easy for yourself. On Saturday mornings with my coffee, I sit down and I think about what I want to eat this week, and then I make a grocery order, and then it shows up at my house the next morning on Sunday. So I get fresh food delivered to me at my house based on the list that I made for myself, and then I prep all my stuff, and then guess what? I don't have to put any energy toward food the entire week because I already know what I'm eating and I already have the basis prepared. It's so easy. It changed my life. It's been 2 weeks, and listen, we're not going back. I love it. So I recommend. This is a brand new tip for me, but it's not new for anyone. But it has to be a recommendation. I would be remiss if I kept that for me, if I gate kept meal prepping, which now that I say out loud is absurd because that's like the #1 tip from everyone, everywhere, all the times. But do it. And my last life-changing tip is to simplify, and to be ahead of the game. And what I mean by that is, when I say simplify, I mean de-influence your life. You don't need 17 different skincare products in the morning and the evening. All that's gonna do is it's gonna make you feel overwhelmed, and you're gonna stop using them. A serum, a moisturizer, and an SPF, and a retinol and a moisturizer in the PM. That's it. That's what I mean, right? Don't think that you need to do these like crazy routines and this insane stuff, because that's not what these people are actually doing. They're doing that for bait. Okay? The like I don't remember what the thing is, but they remove the mask, and then they remove the masks and the mouth tape, and who does that? How is that even, one, useful? Two, who has time for that? No one. And it's incredibly wasteful, and you don't need to have these products. Half of these products have never been verified as doing anything good for you. So de-influence your idea of what a good routine is. De-influence your idea of like, you don't need a wardrobe with 1,000 million pieces. Find what you like, stick to it, simplify decision making in the morning. You don't need to spend hours doing fits, unless you're a fashion girly and you have the time and that's what you want to do. I'm not saying, if it brings joy and it fits into your schedule and it doesn't suck energy away from better things, then by all means go ahead. But for me, my morning routine got so simple when I decided to just wear black forever. And it's my favorite color, and I've always worn black more than any other color, but now I know that I can just make a combination of 3 black things, and I'm out of the house and the look is there and everything fits. So that's what I mean by simplify. And what I mean by being ahead of the game is that sometimes if you are someone who works insane hours, if you are someone who does not fit the typical 9 to 5 with weekends off, and it's hard for you to find times for things that actually bring joy, you have to prep them in advance. And it feels annoying and it feels weird, but what I mean by that is, like, I often complain that I don't see my friends enough, and it's true. But if I actually reach out to my friends in advance and I say, hey, are you free some lunchtime in 2 weeks for us to go get some lunch? That's enough time in advance that they can reserve time in their schedule and I can reserve time in my schedule and be able to work around that time being taken away from my routine. And I enjoy it because it's not last minute plans that cancel something else that I had planned during that time. and I can look forward to it. And by actually planning, putting it in the planner, I know that I'm going to follow through with it, and I know that my friend's going to follow through with it too, unless something happens, obviously. But it simplifies your life by taking a step in advance and thinking in advance about those things. And sometimes that's like, if you're a busy bee, that's what you have to do to make it work, and that's what you have to do to have, you know, constant physical relationships with your loved ones. And by physical relationships, I mean like seeing them in person. But yeah, like being ahead of the game for things that bring you joy and that make you happy, and so you don't have to cancel last minute things you had put in your schedule to accommodate those things. And also simplifying to make routine more straightforward and, you know, more efficient and more streamlined. So those were my 7 life-changing habits. I'm sorry if it was difficult to follow. I didn't have a script for this. I just had some bullet points, and I tend to ramble. But we're trying some stuff. Let me know what your life-changing tips are in the comments down below. I'm interested to hear what you do in your routine that is a non-negotiable and that helps you be more productive. Let me know which of the tips that I provided today are you most excited to implement, or maybe you already implement, or maybe you completely disagree with me, and I'd be curious to know why in the comments below. Either way, I hope you have a productive week. I can't wait to see you in my next video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!